Yelan is now released, and with a large amount of skepticism, players are wondering if she will be good, what role she would fill, and is she worth rolling for? Let's explore this topic in this video. I'll be going through all of Yelan's abilities, passives, constellations, weapons, and artifact sets, explaining why she may squeeze her way into your team, and at the end, coming to a conclusion on if you should roll for Yelan. But before that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to stay notified of when I upload another video. Yelan is a Hydro bow user who will primarily be dealing off-field damage with her elemental burst and large single hits with her elemental skill. She scales off of max HP, and remember this for later. Starting with her normal and charge attack, Yelan has a unique ability called Breakthrough Barb, which affects her charge attack. This effect causes Yelan's next charge attack to have an 80% reduced charge time and deal damage based on her max HP. There are two ways to trigger the Breakthrough Barb: be out of combat for 5 seconds, or by chance when hitting an enemy with her elemental skill. Using the Breakthrough Barb effectively in combat will be key to getting a lot of value out of her. Yelan's elemental skill is quite standard. There is a press and a hold, but also not really, because the press acts like a short hold. There is not a distinct animation or coding for the press, it is just treated as a very short hold. And when you hold her elemental skill, once you start running, you can actually just let go of the skill button and you'll keep running. And this is just a tip. When in her skill, running through enemies will collect a line from Yelan to the enemy, and upon exiting her skill by either tapping the skill button again or waiting for the time to run out, Yelan will do massive Hydro damage, and this damage also scales off of her max HP. The elemental burst for Yelan is uncannily similar to another Hydro boy's burst, and on paper they are exactly the same. You use the burst, and then your team's normal attacks shoot out Hydro missiles dealing Hydro damage. Yelan though has a few extra bonuses that come with her burst. The cooldown is shorter by 2 seconds from 20 to 18. The energy cost is cheaper, down from 80 to 70. Her burst has an initial on-use hit of damage. It scales with max HP, and after unlocking her second passive skill, she will boost the damage of your whole party as her burst duration passes up to a total of 50% damage bonus. Now as for constellations, Yelan has some pretty high value ones. C1 is not too amazing, just an extra charge on her elemental skill. C2 though will fire one extra arrow during her burst every 1.8 seconds, dealing 14% of her max HP, which is about 4% higher than her burst regular shots. C4 is rather interesting. It makes your whole party tankier and also boosts Yelan's damage. Here's what it is: increases the party's max HP by 10% for every enemy marked with her skill, with a max of 40%. This one can have super high value depending on your team composition. Looking at you, Hu-Tao players. And finally, C6 is obviously a super high value one. When you use Yelan's burst, Yelan herself will enter Mastermind state, making her next 5 normal attacks be treated as powered up Breakthrough Barbs. Essentially, after using her burst, Yelan's next 5 normal attacks will deal massive Hydro damage. Now, understanding how Yelan works and how to play her doesn't mean she'll be a good character. Building her properly with correct weapons and artifacts is also just as important, if not more important. Now, if we remember, Yelan scales with max HP. And if we take a quick glance at all the HP bow weapons in the game, well, there isn't any. The closest we have is the Aqua Simulacra, which has HP boosting in the ability. And for that reason, the Aqua Simulacra will be Yelan's best in slot weapon. But as per usual, all the other 5-star weapons are not too far behind. The more important question is, which 4-star will be her best in slot? Well, seeing as none of them have HP increasing abilities or substats, the new 4-star bow Fading Twilight from the Perilous Trails event will be her best bet at an easy, this will work kind of weapon. The energy recharge will help with her burst uptime, and the ability, though weak at R1, you are guaranteed to get this bow to R5, so the value will grow greatly. Now, if you're watching this video after the event has passed and you don't have the Fading Twilight, the Moon's Moon and the Blackcliff bow will give you the most damage, while the Sacrificial bow will give you the most consistency and burst uptime. Weapons are only half the battle though, artifacts are the other half. Now, it has only been 2 days since the release, so I don't have all the answers, but it's not difficult to assume some good combinations. Firstly, the 4th set that I use is Emblem of Severed Fate. The energy recharge helps with burst uptime, and the 4th set boosts burst damage, but the downside of this set is that you need energy recharge as well on your artifact substats. You can get a lot more instant value from running 2 set Heart of Depth and 2 set Tenacity of the Millilith. The raw Hydro damage boost and the HP boost will give you high instant value, and remember that she heavily relies on max HP, seeing as all of her abilities only scale with max HP. 4 set Heart of the Depth can also be good if you're trying to make a main DPS out of Yelan, and this set gains more value the more constellations you have. Now that we know how Yelan works and how to build her, what role does she fill? Yelan's main role is a sub DPS. She's meant to be switched in, use her skill, use her burst, and switch out to your main DPS. Yelan's bursts assists other characters like Hu-Tao or Yoimiya in doing crazy high damage. So the question is, Who will Yelan replace in your party? Most likely the Xingque, or characters like Xingque. While both are great at their job, Yelan just does more. Yelan scales with more stats, thus making it easier to build her and stronger when you get the right roles. She also provides more buffs to the whole party, seen by her second passive and her fourth constellation, unlike Xingque, who just deals damage. So let's wrap this up. Should you roll for Yelan? Will Yelan add anything to your party? If you're looking for a high damage sub DPS to assist your main DPS in achieving their highest potential, and you have a decent weapon to use with her, then I would highly recommend rolling for Yelan. While the weapon will be the toughest piece of power to get for her, if you have any of the previously mentioned weapons and need this type of character, then I encourage you to try and get yourself a Yelan. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video and found it helpful, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Good luck on your rolls and have a great day.